Before I begin, I want to inform you that this episode contains discussions on sensitive topics that may be distressing for some listeners. If you or someone you know is affected by the issues raised, please check the episode description for links to helplines and resources for support. Thank you for listening. Katie Price, you're very welcome to Nicky Byrne HQ.
And I love it. I'm in Dublin.
Have you been over much? Yeah, you've been over.
3 times this month.
Wow.
But because I've known Kira, who does my hair.
Kira Lambert's in the house, everybody.
Yes. But yeah, so I've been coming over here for years and years, but I've never actually done work here. It's normally events. And I always say to Kira every time I'm here, do you know, I'd love to get a house over here. I'd love to do work here. But it's like having an agent.
When you say work, you don't mean carpentry or building. You actually mean some sort of
anything
in the entertainment world that you work in.
Yeah, the entertainment, because I think people know me in Ireland.
Yeah.
But I've never actually done really. I've done like the Late Late Show, and if I've had perfume and that out signings, but I've never done shoots over here. Never really done anything. And I think I'm in such a good place now. I've done so much. Surely there'd be room for the price in Ireland.
If the price is right.
Yeah, if the price is right.
I love it. At one point, Katie, I hope you don't mind me saying,
you can ask me anything you like. Perfect guest.
Okay, thank you. Interviewer's dream.
Yes.
At one point, you were the most famous person in Britain, arguably the most famous person in Britain. How did that sit with you, or how does it sit with you now?
Well, it's probably like yourself, because I remember the days when you was massive. You were starting out when I started out, because we're the same age. And when I look back, to know 30 years on, I'm still relevant, mind boggles me, because I've seen, like yourself, so many people come and go who were at their height, and now you don't even hear of them. So sometimes I'll question myself, what is it about me? Why am I still here? Because I started when I was 17. And 30 years on, and I'm still busy doing stuff. So for me, I left school. I was training to be a registered nurse, which is what I would have done, carried on if I didn't enter this industry. I never thought I'd still be here. I thought I'd be around like a year, 2 years. But when it's 30 years, I think it's an amazing achievement for anyone even to be in the industry and still be relevant. But I don't know what it is, but this is all I know. I don't know any different, because people ask me, what's it like for you? And I'm like, well, I don't know any different. I'm used to cameras in my face. I'm used to interviews. I'm used to photos. So I don't actually know any different. But my friends, I know from school who've got, like, you would say, normal jobs. I don't, it's just normal. I go home and I'm just normal. I don't know what people think my life's going to be like, because to me, well, I don't know any different. It's just
Do you remember a time when you weren't famous? That, you know, when you walked down the street and, you know, I mean, 17, 18, you probably...
Not really. I just remember it being a blur, like school, then training to be a nurse, and I didn't even complete that, because then 17... I was in the Sun, and then it was the Daily Star. Then the Sun were arguing over me. Then the Daily Star. Then I had a contract with the Sun for 3 months.
So it's like Manchester United and Liverpool, basically.
I suppose it was,
right, okay,
yeah. And then I was getting all the jobs. The girls didn't like me. For the first sort of 15 years, girls hated me.
Why?
Because I did Loaded magazine, FHM. You know, I've got awards, Decade Girl, Cover Girl of the Year, Sexiest Women. Remember the FHM Sexiest, all of this. Then you had GQ, Esquire Mag, Playboy. I mean, I did them all. So girls didn't like me.
Were you conscious? Did you know they didn't like you?
Oh, God, yeah. So I was sort of grew up with guys. Like, I don't know if you remember Dean Gaffney, Michael Greco, Gary Lucy, all of that lot who were big at the time. China White days. There was a club called China Whites, Sugar Reef, Red Cube, Attica, all these places.
Titanic. Yeah. London was
but
the
it's
was
not
the place.
like that now, even when you go out in London. And I think when you was a celeb back in them days, it was different. People appreciated you more. I don't know. It was more, I think nowadays, any excuse for them to bring you down, they will. They never celebrate in England someone's achievements. They just always find the way to knock them down. Like, I've just bought another book out and it's gone straight to #1 bestsellers Times list.
Congratulations.
But the papers were never right about that. They never say, oh, yeah, she's got to #1. They're trying to find something else to dig me out. And that's what gets exhausting. Like, the fans and stuff and like that are, you know, they're dead. Like with yourself, you've got all the fans who've been brought up, you know, with you. It's the younger generation now who, because they know me as Katie Price, not Jordan. And I think, what do they know me for? Is it the kids or? Because you have to get on with TikTok now and Instagram and like, it's not all print. Print's old school now. Like, you've got to move on with the times. It's just so different, everything. Yeah.
So if you look back to those days, starting out as a glamour model.
Yeah.
Like, what's the equivalent of that, do you think, nowadays? Is it
I suppose
influencers?
It's influences.
Is it?
Like, I look at these girls, like I do OnlyFans now, and there's a site called OnlyFans where I was a bit like, oh, should I do that or should I not? Because within OnlyFans, they do like porn or you can get everything off. No, I don't. I use OnlyFans as a platform to do copy and paste what I used to do. Underwear, swimwear, because I love posing in front of the camera. I don't show anything, although on that site you can, but it's just another platform. Because why do I want to get my kit off on Instagram and TikTok or whatever for nothing? Because that's always been my job. So I love doing my shoots for that. And I suppose the old school fans of mine love it. But I see girls now on Instagram all in bikinis, underwear, and I'm like, why would you waste it on here? Why don't you go and join OnlyFans and get paid for it? So you think they're
basically giving those shots away for
yeah, well,
for free,
that's my perspective of it, because that's always was my job to begin with. So you will never see pictures of me in bikinis and underwear on Instagram or nothing, because that was what I was paid to do. So I do that for OnlyFans.
So is OnlyFans and many other similar, I suppose, platforms or whatever, is that the way in your world to make money now? Is that not one of the ways?
It's not my main income, but I do it because I know I'm good at what I do. And posing in front of the camera, I'm an exhibitionist. I love it. And that's always what I did in the Jordan days. But now it's not my main income. It's one of them. But nowadays it's like I do podcasts as well because that's the new thing. TikTok, I'm just trying to keep up with it all. Like all these videos, viral videos, and you try and copy them, do this. That it's just moved. That's how things are.
So I've heard of OnlyFans. I've never really been on it. So anybody can do OnlyFans.
Anybody. It doesn't matter what age, size, male, female, in the LGBT community, anything goes. There's always something everyone likes on it.
Right.
You get a lot of people now, like sports people and stuff, who are on it, because you could see behind the scenes. You could, like, if you're in a coffee shop or something, and you could sit there, take a picture of you doing coffee, and then people were paid to click to look at what your picture you're doing.
Oh, so it's not
all about getting your kit off. No.
So I genuinely thought it was. That's very interesting.
I thought, no, it's not. Like,
I think I'm going to go on to OnlyFans then.
You would
I'm going to start OnlyFans.
You would absolutely, like, if you're sitting there at home watching TV, or you're just there in your shorts and T-shirt and you just do a picture.
So what's the difference with that on Instagram? It's just you're charging for the picture. Is that what?
Yeah, I suppose that's
Is that what the difference is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Because I saw, I'm not going to mention names, but I did see like one of the famous boxers, and on his Instagram it said, my OnlyFans. I was thinking, he's done OnlyFans. Is that like?
I always thought OnlyFans was, you have to show everything, and you don't at all. And
what you're telling me is that boxer guy, he's probably not. I thought he was maybe showing, is he topless? He's in the gym, but he could be just showing his cup of coffee this morning.
Yeah,
like it's not
exactly that. But then in the gym, like if you Google that boxer, you've seen with his shirt off anyway. So what difference if he was getting ready for the gym and he's in his gym shorts, but he'd be topless and he'd be like, here I am getting ready for the gym. Right. People would look at it. It's just content, different content. But no, see, me personally, no respect to anyone else who wants to do it, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
I've got kids, family, and, you know, if you're going out with someone, there's nothing worse for me. This is just me personally, that if you're sitting at a table with their mates and girlfriends, them thinking, oh, I've seen your missus's stuff, I just wouldn't do that. But it's to each to your own, isn't it? Whatever.
Has that ever happened, let's say, with anything that you've done in the past that the kids that might have seen? Well, they're not kids. Some of your children are in their 20s
Junior now with my WhatsApp picture. He's like, Mum, what's with your WhatsApp picture? I'm like, what do you mean, what's wrong with it? Do you need to pose like that in it? And I'm like, June, it's for my OnlyFans. Mum, I don't want to know. Don't want to know about my mum on OnlyFans. I'm like, but you say that, but that's what your mum's done all her life, whether you like it or not, Junior.
Right.
Like, it's not even bad, my Instagram picture, but sometimes I forget he is 19 and it's like,
right.
But yeah, it is. I'm not going to change who I am. It is what it is. And Junior knows what I'm about. So there's all sides to me.
Go back to, let's say, when you were younger. Did you always want to be famous? I read on you recently, I was doing some research on you, and you see, pop star seems to be the one.
Pop star and model. Pop star is always been my dream. I always get slated for my singing. But the way I look at it is I've never really had a proper team around me for music. So any opportunity to cover a song or something, you're never going to sound like the original, you know, unless you can make it your own. But now I don't know what's happened this year, but I've done some of my own stuff and done covers, and I'm getting booked for festivals and that, doing like set of 6 songs, singing live on stage. And I absolutely love it. And I'm just quite booked up with that.
And how's the crowd response?
They love it.
Okay.
Absolutely love it. And I think because I do covers that people would know as well.
Right.
That people love them.
So what covers do you do? What songs do you do?
Like CeCe Pennison, Finally It's Have. And that one, You Don't Have to Take Your Clothes Off. Right. That one. What other one do I do? Tell it to my heart. Tell me I'm the only
We're
one.
having a festival here in Nicky Byrne HQ and I didn't even have to
Is
pay.
this really love or just a game? I love it. I love it. I'm never going to be a Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey.
Not yet.
We all know that. But I also have found out why I've been in studio recording. If there was a song written for me for my voice, I would smash it, because people got to realise I'm doing covers and it's hard to do covers. If it's a song made for you, then of course you can sing it, because you can't compare it to anything. But I've always loved it. I remember years and years ago, Westlife had a show out. And I sang on that, and I know Kira was trying to find it. And
I was trying to find it too.
Wasn't it? When I fall in love,
I can't remember.
Forever.
The show was called She's the One.
Yes.
We were looking for a girl to duet with us on the Rat Pack album. We did a swing album.
Yeah.
And on that show that night, our dads also surprised us and sang as well. And you were one of the guest acts.
I have never shit myself so much. It's like the Royal Variety Show. I did that, A Whole New World, with Pete. But when because I'm not a professional singer, Pete was.
Yeah.
Or is. And they have a live audience, a live orchestra.
Yeah.
Now, because I'm not a singer, I'd only sing it how I knew how to sing it in the studio. And I remember they had the cast of Wicked there in the audience in, the dress rehearsals.
Yeah.
And the orchestra changed the key that I was used to singing it in. So I was like, oh. And they're like, no, you have to change the key for the orchestra. So for me, I'm like, I don't know how to change the key. I'm not a singer.
Yeah.
That was so nerve-wracking, but it was live. But I did it. But yeah, that was one of, when I just throw myself into these things.
But you know what? That type of stuff, because it happens to us all. We sang for the Pope in the Vatican in 2001 or 2 or somewhere around there. And we had to do 2 songs, and it was around Christmas time. So because it's the Vatican's religious, we had to do a Christmas song, and then we were allowed to do our newest single. So our newest single at that time was a song called Queen of My Heart, and that was okay. That was easy. The Christmas song, we had a few choices. By the time we got around, typical Westlife fashion, by the time we got around to choosing the song, other artists on the show had already chosen the obvious ones, right? So we didn't have a lot to choose from, but we chose Little Drummer Boy. I don't know, right?
Oh, yeah.
So Shane keyed it with the orchestra from London to the Vatican over the phone, right? So we get to the Vatican. Now the orchestra, it's a 100-piece orchestra. Everything's completely live.
Yeah.
Live music, live vocals, live everything. And then we go to start singing, and that's fine. However, the song keeps going up and up and up during the song. So it gets to the point where we're going, the third part of the song, we not even Mark can
they're amazing singers,
and can't even get up there. So Lord Rester, Cranberries, Dolores O'Riordan, was on the same show, And we tried to rehearse 3 times. The head of the orchestra in broken English was like, no, you must just sing it. We can't, but they didn't have time to rewrite the music for the orchestra. So anyway, I happened to say to Dolores O'Riordan, met her backstage, and I'd never met her before, although I was a huge Cranberry fan as a kid. I said, you don't fancy doing a duet with us, do you?
And that's Dolores how you got around it.
She was like, yeah, no problem, I'll do what song is it? I was like, Little Drummer Boy. I said, it's too high for us and we're in a bit of a situation here. And she said, no problem. She said, once we get the lyrics up on the auto cue, I can do it. So we were like, oh no, I was like, I was trying to contain my, no problem, Dolores, listen, thanks very much. Ran away, going, lads, we're out of the shit. Oh. So we did the duet with her.
And people would not have known from that performance the stress behind that.
I know, crazy.
But that's why you're good performers. And that,
you have to adapt. You do have to adapt. Yeah. You famously said in one of your books that the worst thing.
Which one was that?
I don't know.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, but we're talking about singing. You said it was the worst. What moment? Worst thing you've ever done? Worst regret?
The worst regret, because I was offered a Sony contract if the way they wanted me to do it was represent England, and it was a guy called Nicky Graham. Did you know Nicky Graham?
The name's from Nicky?
Yeah, I think he did a lot of Take That. I don't know if he's done anything for you, Nicky Graham. Anyway, they had this song.
Was he an A&R guy or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I could not sing that song then, and I couldn't even sing it now. I hated the song. But I thought, well, if I'm going to get an album with Sony, I'll do it. Just do it. But what I didn't tell them, that I was 7 months pregnant. So the week before, when you do promo, the build up for the live, Eurovision, where the public
it's a competition,
vote.
You public vote, okay.
And I remember it had Gina G in it, who had done it before, Javine. I can't even remember who the others were now. And I was on live, I think it was not Good Morning Britain, whatever one it was then, I can't remember, it's changed so many times. And Lisa Faulkner, was it Lisa? No, Jenny Faulkner, I think her name was. I just finished performing. She said, we've had some viewers ring in asking if you're pregnant. I went, no, I'm not pregnant. I was like, oh, thanks a lot. Yeah. Thinking, I hate lying. I don't like lying. So I went back after that. I went backstage and said to the manager, I said, Claire, I can't lie anymore. Like, I'm really trying to cover this bump. Anyway, the night of the performance, I wore a pink latex rubber catsuit. And the way I designed it was with the front. So it would be, so you wouldn't really see the bump.
Okay.
Although when I turned,
I was going to say, catsuit at 7 months, you're not really hiding the bump.
But I thought if I wore it and that, no one would think it. So I lost by 1% because obviously they found out I was pregnant. And if you think about it, by the time it came round, if I'd won that, I would have been ready to drop at the Eurovision. Okay. And I think that's really why.
So it was a blessing in disguise, really.
Yeah, but it was like all because I was pregnant, really. Otherwise, if I wasn't, like.
But why was the worst moment of why?
Because I actually really love singing. It's something.
Did you not perform well on the night?
I don't think I did. No, I couldn't. Okay. I couldn't even sing that song now, even if I tried. But then I did an album with Pete with covers of all like covered ballads and stuff like that.
Saw that actually. You some of those songs you sang really well. Actually.
Yeah, and I love it. I sound so young though when I sing. And I think it hurts me more when I get slated for my singing because it's something I really want to do. Anything else, I don't care. But when it's something you really want to do,
right?
And when you get knocked for it, it hurts you. It's like, no, I know I can sing. I know I can do songs. But the songs that I'm given to sing, I just do them.
So who gave you that song? Where did you find that one for Eurovision?
That was part of the Eurovision. I didn't even have a choice.
They gave you the song.
Yeah, I didn't even have a choice. It was like, that's your song. And I thought it wouldn't even do anything for my vocals. Like,
did you have a vocal coach help you?
Dave Ledette. I don't know. And then I think he ended up doing, is it Pop Idol or X Factor, the coach on that? And then Annabelle, I've had lessons with. She was the coach on X Factor.
Okay.
So I have had singing lessons, and I think I'm a lot better now than what I used to be. Mm-hmm. But it's something I just love doing. You can't take it away from me. So now I think because times have moved on, you can sing on Instagram, TikTok, whatever. I just don't read the comments. But I think where I go out and sing live now, and the songs I've done covers for, I do it, I've changed it so I can sing it. Does that make sense?
Right, okay, yeah.
And I love it. Yeah, there'd be people there that slag me off or go, oh, I'm like, well, then don't listen then.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing what I want to do. And if I enjoy it, that's all what matters.
If I was to bring up the clip now, would you be able to watch it, or would you not like to see it?
Oh, I don't mind. Look, it's my past.
Okay.
It was dreadful. Do you know, when Eurovision come out this year,
if we can get that clip up, we'll be...
yeah, people on Instagram and me and my sister were watching it, cringing.
Right.
Yeah, let's have a cringe moment.
Oh, here we go, look. Yeah. You volume the cans if you want.
Can't even dance either. 7 months.
Well, so how long goes that? Many years did you say?
I think junior. Was it junior or princess? It would have been one because I was with Pete then. Awful. But do you know what? Sometimes you don't like, not everyone's going to like everything you've done in the past. Yeah, that's my biggest regret. Cringe and everything. But I'm comfy to watch it because I'm like, you learn from what you do.
Would you do it again?
What, Eurovision? Oh, no, because we get, no pois. Not even that. We would never, we'd never get place. No, I wouldn't do Eurovision again.
You sure? If they asked you?
No, I wouldn't.
Really?
Well, why do I need to put myself up there to be criticised?
Well, no,
I'd rather do music that I enjoy and... Yeah, because I think you can now. TikTok, all of this, you could do anything. Anyone could do anything these days.
True. Yeah, it is true. You have faced all sorts of challenges.
Oh my God, tell me about it. But I'm still sitting here. I'm a survivor.
And that's where I'm getting to. Like, how do you think you've managed to overcome most of them, all of them, whatever?
Do you know what? I'm not just saying it because I'm not here to promote my book, but my latest book, I think people were shocked when they read it. You've been listening to the audio. That's Kira. Even doing an audio of my book, do you know, it took me 4 days and it was the hardest thing because I don't want to relive everything. So the new book basically explains what has really been happening behind the scenes, because in our industry, if I don't turn up for work, no one else can replace me. Mm-hmm. And I think I've had so many true real life events that have been traumatic. And because it's a fast paced live in this industry, you sort of just get on with it, and you don't deal with what's happened at the time. And then it got to a point where I literally got depressed, had a major breakdown, ended up in the Priory twice, 5 weeks at a time, for severe traumatic rehabilitation I needed for PTSD. And then I self-medicated on coke. Now, everyone was more shocked about that because I've never been one to do the coke. All right, alcohol, yeah, that's fine. And alcohol to me is going out. I don't drink at home, never drink at home, unless I've got a party or if I go to someone else's. But it was the coke thing. I was introduced to that by an ex. And then it just grabbed it. I don't know. It just then ended up being not a social thing for me. It blocked everything out.
So you were doing that then at home as opposed to socially?
It was never on my own. And I think it's really weird because I've been diagnosed with severe ADHD. And I remember the doctor saying to me, because obviously he knew I'd done coke because he'd seen my Priory notes. He said, what happens to you when you do it? And I'm like, I just go completely quiet and shut down like that. He said, that's a major sign of someone with ADHD, because normally a medication for ADHD, they give you like a stimulant to sort of calm you down. Does nothing for me. You know, normally if people do coke, it may chat more and they're more up to me. It done the opposite. And it got me at a time where I was depressed, and that for me, it blocked everything out. But I never had an addiction with it. It just blocked it out. So being in the Priory, I was able to deal with the traumas that I'd gone through. And so it was easy for me to just not do the coke because I wasn't an addict. How long
do you reckon you were doing it?
It was months, really. It was over months. And I think that's when my family and everyone were like, what is this coke? This just isn't you. What? And I think people were more shocked because it's obviously in the industry growing up, everyone does coke and it's always around you, but I've never been one to do it. And thank God I didn't, because if it got, I can see how it gets people.
So what were you've never did it until you did it, and then what were you expecting, or did you think?
I don't really know, because it was like, for me, because I wasn't in a good way, it just sort of made me block everything out. I can't explain it. It's the worst thing ever. And in the Priory, I had to, it's in my book as well, I wrote a letter to cocaine, saying how it got me at the wrong time, how it'd be there tapping me on my shoulder saying, I'm here if you want me here. And in the end, can I swear, I was at the ends going, I just want you to fuck off out my life. I'd never fucking go near you again. You write this hardcore letter, and writing it, I don't know. And then you get rid of the numbers on your phone where you know you can get it. I mean, they really put you through it, and it doesn't even cross my mind.
How long in the Priory before you start to see it?
Straight away. Like I could stop. Not because in the Priory, I was in there as a general patient. And I was paying myself because I haven't, you know, our job was self-employed. So you don't get insurance. Right. And if you're general, it's $8,500 a week. If you're in there for addiction, it's $3,500 a week. So then my family would joke, because we always have banter, even though I wasn't well. God, Kate, lucky you're not in, well, I wish you did have an addiction. It'd be cheaper for you than paying $8,500 a week. But you do see people in there who have addictions with.
And do you mix with all these people?
At night time.
Right.
So they do the 12 steps. So at night time on different wards, you're all in a lounge. So you talk about things.
So what do you do when does someone come to your room? Have you got a room?
Yeah, so it's so fascinating. So basically the addiction people, they have to put them on drugs and put them through cold turkey and all of that. So you see how they suffer, because obviously they need that drug. Whereas for me, it was easy for me to stop because I'm now able to talk to people about what was bothering me. So for me, it was fine. I didn't need, they do all tests on you to see if, you know, you need to be given this to come off stuff, but I didn't need anything because I wasn't an addict. I just had problems with not telling people what was going on in my head. But so you get a room, the curtains, because obviously people would hang themselves to everything, even the plug. In the room, I had to put the flannel as my plug. The curtains are all on Velcro, so you can't hang yourself with nothing. You've got cameras in your room, and the first time you're in there, they check you in your room every 15 minutes, but mine didn't really last because I wasn't suicidal at that point. The second time I tried to commit suicide. I tried to hang myself. And that's when I was like, oh my God, you just got to go back in. But now that's been years ago. Now I look at myself now and look at my Priory notes. I put a lot of them in the book, and my ADHD assessment, because I don't want to hide anything from anyone. I am real. Yeah, I've had a fantastic life, but also you can be, it doesn't matter who you are, you can be affected by anything. So it's quite a dark read. There's a trigger notice in the beginning of the book to warn people that you could get PTSD reading my book. It's hardcore, and like as bad as I got is how it is in the book. But I've overcome it, and I'm the survivor of it. So when I look back at how I was in the Priory, it's like looking at a different person. It's like I would never let myself get in that place. I know the triggers. I know how to deal with situations now because I've had to learn how to do that. But when you're that depressed and in a breakdown, everything is just noise in your head. And it doesn't matter how many people say, you've got to help yourself, you've got to help yourself. That makes it worse. It's when you decide, right, I need to help myself. I need to do it for me. That's when it changes. It doesn't matter how many people are like, what is wrong with you? Why aren't you doing this, do that? It's noise. You just don't listen. Right. So, but the moment I decided, no, that's it. I've got to be honest and tell people how I feel and what's bothering me. That was the best thing. Communication was the best thing I ever did.
So do you feel you decided you were going to the Priory? Nobody said you have to go. We're taking you.
My family wanted me to and all of that. So then my mum put me in a car and I enjoyed it. But then I was doing it more for the family than me. My heart was in it.
Deep in your head think, I don't really need this. I'm okay.
Yeah, you do think that, because when you're in there, like I love watching true crime and stuff like this. I'm fascinated with all stuff. And you know when you watch the movies and you see people sit around in a circle, like it's exactly like that. And then you hear other people's stories in there, and sometimes you think, oh my God, you're only in here for that. God, imagine what I've gone through. But what's big to someone could be small to me. So you can't ever judge anyone of how it affects them.
And is there, for someone like yourself, so famous, so well known, there's no special treat? Are you sitting there with random people?
There are people from America, a lot of army people, business people. Yeah, I think they're so ill themselves mentally. No one gives a shit. Right. And you're there to support each other. What I found hard was, because I'm quite a carer, if someone next to you and you're hearing their story, and I mean, there were some horrific things that people have gone through, horrific. And even I'm quite, don't get affected by much. But hearing some of the stories, I was like, fucking hell, like Jesus. and they start crying. You want to cuddle them, but you get told off. You're not allowed because you've got to let them sit there, talk about it and let the emotions out. I found that the hardest because I want to go hold their hand or something, say you're all right, you're fine, but you're not allowed. You have to just, and that was the difficult thing for me. But the best thing I ever done. So I always see a therapist now, just for me, for my mind.
How often then?
Like every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even if it's just a chat. Yeah. Just because I think it's important.
It's like a life coach, mind coach, is that the way?
Well, I'm training to be a life coach now because I have been through so much and I've come out the other end. Like,
what's the worst thing you've been, not Eurovision, what's the worst thing you've been through?
I think hanging myself, because I think when you're in that place, that dark, and to get out, I had a microphone wire and I was like, I just don't want to be in, I just don't. So I pull it around my neck and I just remember pulling it tight. And it's like your face, you feel like heat and you feel it expand. And then it's so weird in your head. What you doing? No, keep going. There's a voice going, keep going. You don't want to be in there. Keep going. And before I knew it, I passed out. And as far as I know, I was dying dead because I didn't want to be here. And then I remember sort of waking up. I was in my bathroom and I was like, what's going on? And I just remember having it round my neck. And then I looked in the mirror. My phone was down the toilet. And I looked in the mirror and my face was black. And black eyes where I'd just obviously fallen. And I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And I was petrified, thinking, what have I done? What have I done? I was like, no, I can't do it. I've got to get help. I can't do this. My kids. Like, come on, Kate, what's wrong with you? And that's when I went back in the private and looking at my kids. So I could never do it to them. Like, you got to think of your kids. Like their poor little face if they didn't have their mum. But when you're that ill and you really don't want to be here, I can't explain how difficult it is. And then I know I'm a strong person and I know I can cope with so much and I have been through so much. And it's like, is it really worth this? Just get help, communicate. I think because I'm quite a proud person, I'd always be like, no, I'm fine, I'm smiley, I'm happy. When really inside I wanted to cry and say, I'm not all right. I need help. I need to deal with this. Like, help me with this. And that's what I didn't do. And I wish I didn't know all about therapy before all of it happened. I didn't know about anything like that. So for me, getting help, I would say to anyone, doesn't matter who you are, you got to communicate because it will get worse and worse and worse in your head. What didn't help? I didn't have good people around me. My family are fantastic. And they'd always be like, I don't like that person around you. I don't trust them. They're using you, this and that. Because many people, when you earn money, they take advantage of your kindness as a weakness. And naturally, because I was earning good money straight away, like some of your friends who couldn't afford to go to places and stuff or restaurants, and you would end up paying for them. And I'll always end up getting the bill. But I'll be like, no, it's fine, it's fine. It's people like that. And then you realise thinking, what do I actually get out of my relationship with them? Am I being used so they see what events I go to, who they can meet? And then I'll end up paying for their hair and makeup. And I'll think, reevaluate everything and think, why are they my friend? What do I get out of my friendship? Because it just seems to be one-sided with me. So now, like through the years, I've got rid of so many people around me. Yeah, I know a lot of people. But who I call my close friends are people who were stuck by me through my worst and who are now enjoying the success with me again. And I think going through something so bad and horrific, you realise who your friends are, but no one will ever get me in that situation. I don't have a manager anymore. Not in England anyway. I don't trust anyone. I feel I was just a product to people, not a human. And you're in this rut race where they just look at you. They want 20% of everything, 20% of everything. And you're just there doing your thing like a robot. Whereas now everything I do is my say. No one's dictating me. I want to enjoy what I do and the work that I do. And I deserve to do that. Because for so many years, I've just been pulled here, there, everywhere. And now I just think, no, I want to enjoy it. It's my life and it's not too late. I'm 46 now, even though I don't act it and probably don't look it because the surgeons love all that. Hence, I'm going to Turkey tomorrow, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Holiday cross surgery. But yeah, like I want to enjoy what I do, and then it's more fun, not think this is a chore. Oh, I don't want to do this today. So I am in control of every aspect of my life. So the bankruptcy thing, I'm not ashamed of it. If anything, it's made me think, right, get my shit together. Don't rely on anyone anymore. It's the media that go on about bankruptcy. And it's like, well, yeah, so many people go bankrupt, but it doesn't mean to say I haven't got money. It's just for all different reasons. Like, I'm on top of everything now, earning like I used to before, but I'm in control. That's the difference. And the bankruptcy, I deal with it and move on. You know, I'm still working, like turning work down. So I'm so busy, earning good money. And it's like, that's in the past. Just deal with it, move on. But that's the difference. I don't let anything bother me like it used to. What is the point? It just makes you ill.
You seem to be in a good, really good place. You seem to be...
talk a lot, sorry.
No, that's not... Thank you very much for joining us on this. You seem to be in a really good place. And you seem to be like maturity. We all grow up. We're all getting older. We're all getting more mature and learning as we go. And not to harp on about it, but I didn't say at the time, when you spoke about the dark days and that microphone around your neck or the wire.
Yeah.
It's so frightening, really.
Sad.
Like to see this. I don't recall ever sitting in a room or across from somebody like this where they've been so descriptive. And I think, I imagine you're able to do that because you're on the other side of it now. And obviously to anybody listening or watching, there's various helplines to get in touch with. But that must have been so frightening for you.
But that's what I say. I was that ill. Like, there'd be people probably listening who are probably like, oh my God, I feel a bit, whether it's suicidal or not suicidal, or they might be at work and they might look to people, they've got everything, but inside it's crumbling and they feel they have to keep that
like
persona up. Yeah,
right.
They have to feel they keep that persona up, and the pressure on them is like a pressure cooker because they can't keep it up. And then it doesn't mentally. I saw a lot of people like that in the Priory. What I say to people is, don't worry about what anyone else thinks. You know, you've got to be healthy, have your mind fresh. I've been there, done it, and I know what it's like, and it's not a nice place to be in. Just communicate with someone. Don't ever be ashamed of anything. I mean, come on, my whole life is all over the media. I don't know how they can try and torment me and bring me down anymore. Even when they say my house got evicted by bankruptcy, my house has never been evicted by bankruptcy. But that's the papers for it. And people have to, I have to live with that. People in the street judging me for this or that. It's like when I got told Harvey was blind and then the papers blamed me for saying it was all my partying when it was nothing to do with that. Walking the streets then, like...
But how much can someone like you take?
Well, this is it. It didn't. You think you can take it at the time, but inside it builds up and builds up. Like... Yeah, but I get, I walk down the street and sometimes I think, I wonder what that person thinks I'm like, how I get judged but they all say I'm a good mum. Obviously, I am a bloody good mum. My kids are my everything. But no one can say I'm not a survivor. I work hard and the difference is I love my job. I'm still hungry for it. I'm still driven for it. No one can take that away from me. Like, I feel like I've been in a washing machine. And I've come out the other side with the knowledge, the experience, and ready to, that reset button's reset. So I feel like I've started my career again like I did before, but now I've got all the knowledge and experience. Does that make sense? Like I'm fresh and hungry for it. And everyone's like, but why, Kate, when you've gone through all that? And I'm like, yeah, as much as I've gone through like hell mentally, I've still had a fantastic life.
It's, when you look at it, so like, because your life is, well, it is, but your life is an open book, right?
Yes.
And you've seen the fruits of that. You've earned, I presume you've earned some great money through the years or whatever. Yeah. Did you ever sit back, kind of wash your face, sit in a room on your own and go, why did I ever choose to do this life or want to crave, whether it was the modelling when you were a teenager or now that you've seen the good side, the bad sides, the middle of it, did you ever think what would life have been like for Katie Price if you were worked a 9-to-5 job, or you were a police officer, or you were a train driver or whatever, something not what you do. Do you ever think I would have preferred it? What would it have been like, or no?
Definitely wouldn't have preferred it. I have enjoyed every aspect of my life. Yeah, there's been ups and downs. I think the downside with me, which I have learnt through therapy, and it all makes sense. I've done like a domestic abuse course, that I think because I was raped 3 times under the age of 18, my first time was when I was 7. It's in the book. It says about sexual abuse. The relationship with men, I think, because I haven't been treated right from age of 7, is the way I look at it. I've learnt this in therapy, that I've always, from doing a domestic abuse course as well, I didn't know what a healthy relationship was. It's either been mental abuse, physical abuse, toxic, jealous, dictated, jealousy, that I would always, to people, jump in one relationship to the other, or get married quick, have kids quick, because I didn't know. But now I'm the other side. It's hard for me to get used to a healthy relationship, which now I know what a healthy relationship is. I know what red flags are, this and that. And so I think men, it's not that it's the men's fault. I'm not blaming the men, but my choice of men I've gone for obviously felt the void that I needed. Like I needed validation. I needed a man. Whereas now I don't need a man's validation. If I want a man, it's because I want them, not because I need them. Like my whole perspective of things have changed. It may have taken me all these years to realise all these things, but I've done it. And now I can enjoy my life and feel light. Nothing heavy on me anymore. There's nothing more anyone can say about me. Nothing. It's like now I'm free. I can enjoy my life.
And so when was that moment? When was that moment?
I think after you don't just suddenly walk out the Priory and go, right, it's done now. It's also proven to people around you, because now I find people like the other night I did my book night where I had a lot of people that came there who knew me before, who I've still been in contact with. They're there getting pissed and all, all of that, coming up to me. And they're like, oh, you can have a drink. And I'm like, no, I'm all right. Oh, come on, have a drink. I'm like, no, I've got to get up early for work tomorrow. But it's people like that have got to realise they have to get used to how I am now. Of course I can have a drink. But I think to myself, back in the day, I would have gone out and had a hangover and gone to it, but I don't. I want to be fresh. It's to my life is enjoying what I want to enjoy. And I don't need to go out and get pissed and go to a club and all of that. That's not what makes me happy.
You're getting old, Katie. Is that what you're saying? You're getting old?
I think I fucking am. I do like to stay in and watch a fucking film. But like clubs,
well, what's your routine? What's the Katie Price routine when you're not working in the morning?
I love horse. I've got 4 horses. I love my horses.
So you live horse stables?
Yeah, I've always had country houses.
Right.
And with oil heating, stables and all of that. And I'm sick to death of old houses. There's always something going wrong. Then it's the oil, it's going to run out. Then you have to get it delivered. Having horses at home isn't cheaper.
Who's that behind you? Is that, have a look at, is that, you know this horse's name?
Oh, that one's Wallace.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Horses have been my consistent in my life. Been riding since and I smile when I talk about it. I just love the smell of them, being around them. My kids ride. Horses is my thing. Just love it. Love being in the country. But I've always thought, I wonder what it's like to have a new build where everything works. So now I got rid of the farmhouse. I'm now in a brand new build. I've chose everything in it. But the only problem is, you get the little pads on the wall, digital things for my ADHD with that wants to go nuts. I don't know what to do. I'm pushing all these buttons and it's not doing anything I want. And I'm like, how do I get the underfloor heating on, this and that? But I love it because it's new. Nothing's going wrong with it. It's smaller because the other house was 9 bedrooms on 3 floors. And then when you've got all the kids in there, they're all in different rooms. And it's like, what's the point? Where a smaller house, I'm like, no, you can be together because you can have all like the cinema room, this and that. And I'm saying that because I'm watching you because I know you've got all that. But what I'm saying is the kids end up dispersing or they have their friends over and then you're just there. And I'm like, oh, kids. I'm like that. Oh, wait, can we all watch telly? So yeah. I love it.
Go through the kids now, all the ages. You were telling me earlier, Harvey's 20.
Oh, Michael, can you believe? Harvey is 22.
22, wow.
He's 22. Junior's 19. Princess is 17. And then I've got Jet who's 10 and Bunny who's 9.
So it's quite quite a big range there. Yeah,
I
so
still
you
would
got
have
kids.
more.
Yeah.
I'd still have more as well.
You would still have more.
I just love nurturing. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just love it. I think I must be a good mum because I don't mind the chaos. I like a house that's lively. And like with the kids, make me a cup of tea and I don't know, and Christmas time. I'm very family orientated, very, very
I don't know
family.
where you find the time to do everything that you do.
I don't, but I do. I think because I control it
And
myself.
particularly with obviously with Harvey and his complex needs and everything.
Oh my God, he's so hard. I'm taking him to Turkey today and we don't land until midnight. So I'm dreading that because he's like, I know he's 22, but he's still like a baby inside. So, you know, like a child that gets tired if they're off the plane late and they cry and they're a bit moody. Well, imagine a 28 stone, 6'2" man like it. Oh, and the plane, he only likes flatbeds. So obviously we're going BA, but there's no flatbeds to Turkey. So already I've had to warn him, say there's no flatbeds. No, Mum, you're winding me up. I'm not winding you up. Because I know when we get on, he's going to kick off because you don't believe there's no flatbeds. If it's long haul flights, then obviously you get flatbeds where he does. And then he'll want pasta and all of that. He doesn't realise on flights you can't just have anything you want. So I've got to go through all of that today. And then through security, he doesn't like taking his shoes off. And sometimes they ask him to. And then it starts kicking off. And I'm like, look, trust me, he's not smuggling anything. He's not hiding nothing. He's not saying he doesn't want to take his shoes off for nothing. It's just autism, the routine. So I'm going to have fun today. Bloody hell.
Are you the only one that he kind of trusts or, can be around or no?
So when he comes home, he's at college in a place called Cheltenham. Beautiful college. But obviously he comes home to see me and I do him on my own. I don't have carers and stuff. And within 10 minutes of him being home, I'm like, oh God, here we go. I love him so much, but he is so challenged, just wants me all the time, whether to hold his hand, cuddle him. And it's like, Mum, every minute, look at this, look at that. And he loves going on holiday, just wants to hold my hand on the aeroplane. And someone would complain whether it's behind me or in front because he moves a lot like this. And he'll be tapping on the chair and then someone's going to say, can you stop him kicking? And then I'm going to have to say, I'm really sorry, but I can't. He's autistic and that's how he moves. On every plane, someone
do
complains.
People, please tell me people understand then, they don't.
Well, sometimes I'm like, look at him, it's not my fault, I can't stop him. And if I say, Harv, don't do that. No, Mum, because that's what he does. So I know that's going to happen. I get it on all flights, but I'm used to Harvey now and people staring and because you can't hide Harvey. Wherever I go with Harvey, he is recognised everywhere. You just can't disguise Harvey at all. But yeah, he turns it on. If someone wants a picture, he either go, no, not today. Or he'd be like, okay. And it's when he says the hello you, what he said on telly. When I'm like,
what did he say on TV?
C-U-N-T. Maybe he said it live on telly. Did you not know that?
No.
Are you joking?
No.
Oh, so I was on Loose Swimming when I was the presenter on it. And we was talking about, because I've tried to do a law, like Harvey's Law about trolls and stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that, but go on, continue the story.
And then Piers Morgan was on the show with us, and then the other ladies and me. So I went, Harvey, what do you want to say to all them people who are horrible to you? And he went, hello, you cunts. This was on, oh my God. I was like, Harv, I didn't know what to imagine that, daytime TV saying that. But he's been an icon from that, like Glastonbury.
Did the presenters laugh? The other presenters laughed?
Yeah, I think we're all like, like, what could we do? It was like, but now wherever I go, some people have tattoos with that on it. Like with Harvey, I just think, yeah. And I always say to him, Harv, you don't say that word. Go in college mode. I say college mode, which means don't swear.
Right, okay.
But you never know with Harv. You never know what he's going to say. That's what I love about him.
Yeah.
But in a way, I think, good on you, Harv, because that's what they are.
You obviously, you're a devoted mom and you spend so much time caring for all your kids. But obviously, Harvey takes a bit more time, I imagine.
It's just a different care, yeah.
So a lot of people were quite cruel, weren't they? In the press, I think you said they were quite cruel at the time. So explain to us what Harvey's Law is and how and where it's at the moment.
So Harvey, online, you can Google it. It's not I'm making it up. You know, like Haribo.
Yeah.
They put like Harvey spastic bow or Google it and you'll see it everywhere. And
this is all people online saying.
Yeah, and you could Google it. People have made like memes and whatever on him. And people get offensive if I would say on here how it is. But it should be the same if it's read. It shouldn't be any different. Or if it's said on Twitter or Instagram or anywhere. They're the kind of things people say about him. But people don't find it as harsh as if they hear me say it. But it should be treated the same. But I will do everything I can to protect him from trolls.
You can't just, like, that's vile.
No, it's awful. That's why I started this law, Harvey's Law. But then because of COVID, like, you have to have 100,000 signatures, no, 10,000 signatures from the public for anyone, an MP or something, to look at it. But if you get more than 100,000, then it has to go, like, to the Houses or Commons. Harvey got nearly 300,000 within a week. So I've been to the House of Commons Select Committee. We got quite far up, done my debates. But it's a bit delayed now, but it will come a law. What they've got to do is, say if you say something online, when does it come a criminal offence? Because we're all matter of fact. We can all talk and say about things, but you know yourself when you're pushing the line, like, you know.
But surely that horrendous racist language, can be...
Well, I took someone to court. There's these things called vines, and someone was mocking Harvey. And I thought, you know what? I'm not having this. Went to the police. I said, look, I know things happen all the time, but this is my son. He can't defend himself, and I will. And this is vile. So we ended up going to court, and we're in there with the judge. And me being me, I was going to the judge, well, have you got kids? Like, I can't, Mrs. Price, please. I went, no, because how would you like it if someone said this about your kids? It's wrong on every level. Mrs. Price, please. I was getting told off in court. But I was so passionate about it, and they let him off. And I said, this is disgusting. And it happened to be the same judge that when I done the drink driving and the other one, it was the same judge on all of them. But, yeah, that's another story. I could sit here all bloody day.
Well, you can't because you were playing the catches. So what time does you have to leave?
Flight's at 1:30, so...
Oh, you're all right.
You got 10 more minutes, right? Okay.
More longer, whatever. But honestly, I'm the kind of chat, there's so much that I can talk about.
We'll have to have part 2 and part 3 and part 4.
Do you know, that's what, what's his name from Made in Chelsea? That's what he done with me. Oh, how can I forget his name? Who's the guy Made in Chelsea in London? I keep forgetting you're in Ireland. That's really bad.
I don't watch Made in Chelsea, so.
No, I don't either. He's a blonde guy, Chelsea guy, he's a posh guy. But he only has one desk on, but he's had me on twice. It's like, Kate, you're like, just have to have you on again. He said, this has never happened. And now he wants to do a third. And he's like, I could just sit here and talk about your life all day.
Talk to me then about the future.
So the future, go on, I'll let you talk first because I'm interrupting.
Well, what's left to do? Like, what's left that you'd love to do that you've never had an opportunity or you want to try and your hand at?
So I'm bringing back the empire. It's natural for me to bring out perfume again, underwear for bigger boobs, pajamas, clothing, all of that, what I did before, and obviously carry on with my books. But now I've started doing documentaries. I'm going to Texas the end of next year. I'm interviewing serial killers on death row in Texas because I'm really into crime. I interviewed a murderer 4 months ago. For Channel 4. Many have done their crime when they've come out. So I'm doing that. I've just done an IVF one. So Channel 4, Channel 5, I don't know if you get that over here, but I'm doing lots of documentaries with them. I'm doing one with Harvey in November. That will be shown at Christmas. And then the BBC want to do another documentary with Harvey. So a lot of TV stuff. But as you know, when you do TV, it could take 7 months to film before it comes out. And obviously the podcast I do weekly with my sister. What else?
Would you
I've never been a presenter on a telly, and I've never done.
Well, you did, but then Harvey obviously dropped that C word, so
Yeah, I'm over loose swimming. I wouldn't do that again anyway. Like, I did that for 2 years, and to be honest, it was hard for me to be myself when you got the earpiece in.
Yeah.
And every time they'd be like, Kate, don't say nothing because they know I just want to say something. What reality shows I've done then? The only ones I haven't done is like dancing,
like
Strictly. I've never done that. Dancing on Ice. I don't know if you have that here. I've done the Big Brother, won that, done I'm a Celebrity twice. I think that's the best reality.
Really? Would you advise me to do I'm a Celeb?
I think if anyone could do it.
Keane won I'm a Celeb.
Yeah.
So I can't really do it now because if I don't win.
I think you could, but you're different. You don't know. I never won.
Yeah. Okay.
I never won. I've done it twice.
What was it? Where did you come?
Well, I walked the second time because, again, the public were asking me every day to do the challenges. So stupid me, I swore on my kids'
What was
life.
the worst challenge?
It's got to be the eating.
So what did you have to eat?
Oh, I've eaten like kangaroo anus, the fish eyes, witchetty grubs, had spiders. I'm trying to think what else. They're the ones that come in mind. Cockroaches, live ones, because the more you crunch, the more they wriggle and scratchy. I mean, I could put my mind to things, but I think if anyone gets offered it, they should do
the
that.
kangaroo anus? No, thank you.
Do you know what?
I think I'll pass.
That tastes like cold minced meat. Really weird. I'm just trying to remember it.
I reckon if I had kangaroo anus, I don't think that taste would never leave my mouth.
But I can remember it. It's like, when you go into a dishwasher, I know this is really one. Sometimes you get a glass out and it smells like a wet Labrador. I know what I mean. I know the way my mind thinks. But yeah, I think, if you ever got offered it, you should do it.
I was offered it back in the day. I did Strictly in 2012.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What was that like? I love the
Strictly.
Outfits and that. I've never been asked to do
Takes
Strictly.
over your life though while you're on it.
Shows like that do. That it has to.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I finished. I got knocked out in the quarterfinal. We had a good year though. We had like Kimberly Walsh, Denise Van Outen, Michael Vaughan, Lewis Smith won it. We had a really good cast and crew that year. I enjoyed it, but like I said, it's.
This is the thing. When it shows like that, I can make more money not doing them shows, and it's not like I need the profile.
Right.
Some people do it because they want the profile.
Are you saying I needed the profile? Are you?
No, it's different over here.
Okay. No, I did it in England. I did it in the UK.
Did you do it in England?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I hosted the one. Do you mean you didn't vote for me every week when I was on the show?
What was on instead? It might have been X Factor or something. I put myself in that hole, didn't I?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's no part 2 on this HQ, by the way. Okay, it's not coming back. What about regrets? Do you have any regrets, or do you just not do regrets?
I would say some of my men choices, and Eurovision.
Okay, right.
And probably some managers.
Right.
But to be honest, it's not that they're regret. I suppose they're more like life experiences you learn as you get older. Because, I mean, like yourself, I started when I was young. And you believe everything that everyone says. They sell you the dream of everything. You're like, oh, my God. And then you're let down. And then you're picked up again. It's like up, down, up, down. And now I just don't believe anything till there's a contract in front of me. Okay. And ready to sign.
I must ask you, what was your opinion of Westlife back in the day?
I used to fancy Mark.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And then Shane, he used to like horses, didn't he?
Yeah, so Shane came from a show jumping background.
That's right.
Yeah. His brother still has a big show jumping stuff for the west of Ireland. Yeah,
Does he ride still?
Yeah. I don't think as much, but his brother would actually.
So Westlife, and then Brian, obviously, I know Brian, he was with Kerry and...
Did a Jungle Kerry? Was that...
Yes.
When she won? So
do you know, yeah, she won that. That was the one I was in when I met Pete.
Okay.
And then I'm doing Panto with Kerry this year with the two ugly sisters, exactly, in Cinderella. But
Are you Cinderella?
No, we're the ugly sisters, me and Kerry. I went to her, well, who's the ugliest one out of us two? I said, clearly it's not me. We're like Beauty and the Beast. I always wind her up. But Kerry, she's another one underestimated. She's gone through hell and back, but she's come out, she's completely different. She don't even drink anymore. I do love Kerry. She's calmed down a lot as well. Kerry's just Kerry. We both...
You keep in touch? Oh, well, obviously doing Panto.
Yeah, she's changed a lot.
Who is Cinderella in that?
But clearly not me. I actually don't know.
Okay.
I always get the villain parts, me. Always. Okay. And then in October, I'm playing the genie in Aladdin.
Okay.
And I thought, is that all I am, a genie? What a shit part. And everyone's like, Kate, it's one of the main parts. I was like, oh, is it? And then I thought, shit, that means I've got more lines to remember.
I know you're unconscious time. Surgeries?
Yes, I'm off to Turkey to have surgery on my face at the same time as giving Harvey a holiday because I'll only have a bandage around my face, so I'll still be in and out the pool.
Do you ever worry going into... I hate the idea of surgeries. Like, I've had a broken arm and broken elbow and stuff like that. So I always hate the idea of being put out.
So I love being put to sleep.
Do you? Yeah.
But you say that. I broke my feet 2 years ago, life-changing injury. They said I'd never walk again. And so I was in a wheelchair for 10 months, well, a bit longer, then had to learn to walk again. I can never run again. So when I've had to have operations on my feet, which isn't my choice, I get really anxiety, really worried and scared. But yeah, if it's cosmetic surgery, I'm excited and all of that. Can't wait. It's really weird because I think it's because I'm choosing to do it.
Okay.
But when it's something you don't choose to do, I get really worried then.
Okay.
Which is really weird.
So I don't know what I'm allowed to ask because I'm old-fashioned.
Can ask whatever you want.
No, but I'm oldfashioned. I wouldn't do it.
How many boobs does have had?
No, I wouldn't ask
know.
that. I wouldn't ask that. You're not allowed to ask a lady her age and stuff. But
I'm 46.
I'm not asking these questions. But so what are you getting done to your face? Like, what do you get?
I'm going to try a facelift or something. You're looking at me like, what the hell?
No, what do you mean? So that's when they pull it back,
I'm going to have it like that. So I'm just going to have it lifted like that.
Right. Right, okay.
I know. My mum's like, what is it with you since you've turned 40? You're now doing the tattoos. You're now doing your face. You're ridiculous. I'm like, Mum, you've got to have one child that's a bit out there. She's like, but you don't need it. And I'm like, but you don't see what I see. Like, I don't see. I've never thought I'm pretty, ever. And I hate looking at older pictures because I think I look ugly. That's just something I've got to deal with myself. I will have to deal with that issue because I still don't look and think I'm anything. So I'm going to have a little lift on my face.
And will then you feel then will that
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Okay.
We'll have to see.
How long does it take before you can go back out doing
I'm still going to go straight to work straight after.
You can do it straight away?
I don't care if I'm on telly with a bandage.
Okay. But let's say, I suppose my question is, when you take the bandage off, what do you see? Bruising? What?
Oh, there'll probably be, I don't know on this one. I don't know if they cut me in the head here or the side. I don't know until I get there.
And why Turkey?
Because I've seen some of my friends get stuff done there, and my friend I'm going with is having a tummy tuck.
Okay.
So it's like a family holiday and surgery. It's like going shopping. I shouldn't even laugh about it, really, should I? But I'm crazy. I would never understand myself either. And I've got Channel 4, they're filming it because I'm doing this will make you laugh. I'm doing a program on surgery to make me realise, behind the scenes of it all. So when I said, that's fine, but I am going to Turkey to do my face. What? We're trying to get you not to do it. I said, well, it's up to you. If you don't want to film it, don't. So the beginning of the show, before I look into stuff, I'm having my face and they're filming it.
Well, you know what? You're not going to be able to be the ugly sister then anymore because you're going to be absolutely stunning then when you come back from Turkey.
Fantastically plastic. But that's me. Like, at least I'm open about it. There's so many people out there who've had stuff done. They're like, oh, I'm natural. No, you're not. Like, I'm 46. I should have wrinkles at my age.
Right.
Like,
well,
I'll be 50 in 4 years and I can't bloody wait. I should look like
what are you going to do?
do?
How would you celebrate 50? You want to achieve something?
I would like to do a nice big event and have, because I still have all my press call outfits and memorabilia stuff. Just
like
hire
a Madame
place.
Tussauds.
Yeah, something like that. But have to play old school music.
Right. 80s, 90s?
80s, 90s. They don't make like old school R&B and all of the, the old school music. Because they don't make music like that. Now, when I hear Junior and his song, what is it? Grime or he's such a good singer. I'm like, sing me another ballad, sing it. I love when he sings. But then he goes into his rap and then grime, which he's really good at. And I'm like, this isn't music. This is just noise. Like, shut up, mum. It's all the Insta.
Sign of the age. That's the sign of our age, I'm telling you.
It is.
Right, before you go, I always ask every guest to put together their ultimate boy band. Right?
Right.
So it can be anybody, but there's got to be 5 guys. One will always leave, obviously. We need 5. It can be from rock, pop, you name it. I need 5 guys. You don't have to put me in. You can if you want, you don't have to.
Let's have a look.
But let's, from the world, the whole world, America, Ireland, England, you name it. So
I don't know what it would sound like. Ultimately, boys to men are all good, but no. Nick Carter.
Okay, from the Backstreet Boys?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Nick Carter, I think Gary Barlow.
Right, he sat in that chair.
Did it? He's so amazing. Forever, was it Forever Young, the song he did on the piano?
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good. So,
have you met him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary Barlow, Luther Vandross.
Okay.
Here we go. Chris Brown.
Okay.
It's quite a random set. Not that I don't like anyone from West
That's
Side.
okay.
I'm just thinking of people like George Benson.
Right, okay. That's 5.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but we need a name for them now.
Pricey Woods. Instead of Hollywood. Pricey Woods.
I mean, it's not the most catchiest name in the world, but we'll have to.
I actually don't know, but imagine like there's so many singers. You just put them. So I'm just singing of people that I like what I've been brought up listening to and stuff. I say Nick Carter, so I used to really fancy him with the blonde curtains.
Gary Barlow, he actually picked Chris Martin, which I thought was interesting.
Oh, did he?
He picked him. Did he pick himself? I think he picked himself with Chris Martin and Justin. I can't remember exactly. I have to go back. Right, before I let you go, what do you think in one day? Are you religious? No? Do you believe in?
No, I've got so many friends who are religious. Any religion goes. I'm open-minded with them. I don't judge.
Okay, but do you believe in something after?
Well, my last house was haunted. And I've got lots of, if people Google it, you'll see I've got videos of ghosts, the little boy on the top floor. So Junior Princess would never go on the top floor after that. They heard noises and I pictured a little boy. I've had ghost hunters there. I've done Ouija boards there and they say it's the most active house ever. Wow. And I think that's what gave me bad energy and bad luck. I just had to get, since I've been out there, everything's light. So I believe there's something, yes. Okay. There has to be.
Okay. So when you arrive at the gates of heaven, what do you expect?
Beauty school dropout. Have you seen Grease? All like that, like, I don't know. See my nan and granddad and that. I'd hoped people I know, we go and see that. Who knows? This is what I say to people though. Who has actually died for a week and come back? I'm so skeptical. I'm open-minded about everything. Everyone can believe what they want to be, and it's who that helps people. But I'd like to think there's something. I'd like to think there is.
Excellent.
And all I know now is it's bloody raining.
Yeah, I can hear it. Outside.
How relaxing is that?
Katie Price, you have been absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for coming on the HQ.
Can I just say one thing?
You can.
Never underestimate the pricey.
Katie Price, everybody! That was brilliant.